What's going on, everybody? So today we're going to talk about 500 years in the future, OP07. This booster box has been steadily climbing over the past 6 weeks that we've been tracking it in the spreadsheet. Obviously, we're going to continue to track it and see where it goes in the future. I've said multiple times, I don't think this set is great. I think for the price point of where it was at, around $100, it was a way better buy than something like Two Legends or Royal Blood. It was a decent set. You're not going to see massive returns on it in the short term. In the long term, you might do okay on it. But it's just the fact getting a box this cheap, it does have some upside as well. So it's not like it's terrible. And we're going to go in depth looking at some of the cards. But it's just the fact that you get a set with this much depth. It kind of reminds me of something like a Paradox Rift in Pokemon, where it doesn't have a massive chase card. I mean, the Boa Hancock's pretty good, but outside that, there's not a ton of depth, but there's some nice artworks and some popular characters. So it does give the box some value. And I do think in the future, collectors will want to open this box to try and chase some of these cards outside of just the Boa Hancock manga, which we'll look at here in a second. So to start us off, we will look at some of the cards. The Boa, a lot of this set is waifu, and that's why I think in the future there will be a niche in the collecting side of the hobby for this. You know, the reality is some people just like collecting waifu cards. It's not for me. I understand why people do it though, and this set has some pretty solid ones. So starting off, the manga card, Boa Hancock. It's a great artwork, by the way. I do like the colors, how everything flows together. I think it's great. This card has been steadily climbing as well since around November when it was in that 470 range. TCG Player has this around 610, but most recent sales from back in May, actually. We haven't had a ton recently. May 16th, you had one at 690. May 20th, you had one at $699. And then we had a lower one here, May 27th at $620, most recent sale there. You did have one sale break into that 700 range as well. So we'll keep an eye on this. Also, I am planning to start tracking the manga cards in the spreadsheet one day per week, or maybe once a month. I'm not exactly sure. I might do it monthly, to be honest. That'll probably be easier. I don't know how to go about doing it though. I thought about it, and I think TCG Player is probably still the best way for me to do it. But the prices, you know, there just aren't that many sales per month. So I'm not sure how useful it'll be. I think if I do it monthly, there'll probably some level of utility. So I think it's still worth doing just to add it in. And then in the future, if I think of a better way to do it, I'll already have everything set up and be able to easily transition to a better way of tracking. So you guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. But outside this Boa Hancock, you have a couple other solid characters. You have a Nami card in here, and honestly, when I look at the artwork of this, it is beautiful. I really do enjoy looking at this card. You can see it's down 16.85% over the year, but it's ebbed and flowed since release. Back here in November, it was around $90. I think that was probably a screaming buy. Also, this was probably in meta at some point, I'm just assuming based on it, jumping from $90 to around $170 overnight. But it is also a beautiful artwork, so in the future, I think this is one of those cards where people will probably want to open packs and try and collect this card for their binders or whatnot, maybe get it slabbed. Another one, the Jewelry Bonnie. This is the third most expensive card in the set. I think it's all right. I don't think it's a crazy card. I'm definitely more excited for the Jewelry Bonnie manga card coming in OP12. But this one still has a little bit of value. And same sort of deal back here in November was at its lowest, around $47. And now we're up to around $65 right now with current sales. Yeah, in that range, right around there, 63, 65, 66, in that range. You guys have to remember too, OP07's less than a year old. It came out at the end of June 2024. I believe it was June 28th. So less than a year old, that's not that long. It's going to be in rotation for a couple of years still. So will we get a reprint of this box? I doubt it this year. I highly doubt we get a reprint of this box. And if that doesn't come, you will see these cards eventually start to creep up over time if we get more people into the hobby. And I do think that we will see more people in the hobby later this year, especially with the season 2 of the live action coming. And outside that, we are just seeing general growth of the hobby, whether it's on YouTube, the TCG, regional, stuff like that. So all good signs. Vegeta Punk, next card up. I do like this artwork as well. I think it's great. nice and colorful with all the characters in the background. I'm going to be honest, I'm not far enough in the anime that I've met any of these characters or know who they are. So you guys let me know in the comments down below if you want to give me a little educational lesson. Same sort of deal though. This card was around 30 bucks in November. Now it's up to around 50. So you can already see a lot of these cards starting to creep up over, 6 to 8 months, something like that. And I understand some of them are probably meta, or they had times where they were in the meta and that's affected the values. But generally, over time, the collectability of them too, you will see these cards start to rise. You have a Boa Hancock. This is an alternate art or parallel, whatever you want to call it. Again, pretty interesting artwork. I would see this card being collected in the future as well by someone who collects waifus. We have a Doflaming card. I don't think this card's super interesting, but it does have some value, around $45. It was around $90 1 year ago and has just been steadily falling since then. And most recent sales, May 30th, you had a couple sell at $43 and $42 respectively. We do have a couple more interesting characters to look at. You have a Sanji alternate art card. This card, same deal, back in October, 25 bucks, now up to around $40-ish, with most recent sales being right there from today. So I kind of like this artwork. I don't think it's anything crazy. I kind of prefer the Sanji from Royal Blood. And I understand this is an alternate art of a super rare, and I think that one was a special rare. Correct me if I'm wrong, but either way, the artwork does matter, at least in my opinion. I think in the future for collectors, that will matter more so than just the rarity of the card. You have a captain card in here, and this one's around $40 as well. Nothing crazy. I don't think this is a super awesome collectible card, but it is valuable to a sense where if people are opening the box, it's just another opportunity for them to get some value back from opening the packs inside. You also have an ace. Not my favorite artwork either. I actually just recently got to the part of the anime where we're introduced to Ace, where Luffy's in Alabasta and Ace makes his first appearance, then he dips out. So I'm excited to keep watching the anime. Honestly, the further I get into it, the more I'm enjoying it. I still think these earlier seasons, the anime, is quite bad. The dialogue is awful too, but it's been enjoyable nonetheless. A couple more cards here. Okiku, nothing crazy, but another waifu card, around $26-ish. A little bit up over the past year there. Most recent sales still around $25, $26. You have another Monkey D. Luffy card in this set also, 18 bucks. This one's been falling down 75% approximately over the past year, but it is a Luffy card, and again, it's just another card that you can pull that adds value to the set. Same thing with this Law. I don't think this artwork's great at all, but this is on the front page, down 81.86% over the past year, selling around 15-ish, 16-ish dollars, and sells fairly consistently, so that is a good sign, at least in my opinion. Those are some of the cards from the front page. You can see there are some more in here. You have a Rob Lucci, I believe his name is. Again, I haven't gotten deep enough that I've seen this character. Izo. So a couple characters, Dragon as well. So Frankie. There are some characters in here that have cards that have some decent value. I don't think any of them are crazy artworks, but again, they're depth cards that add to the opening experience that allows someone ripping packs to get some value back out of the set, or to give them cards that they can trade with other people for value. And I know I'm going to get roasted in the comments for my pronunciation of some of these names, and that's fine, guys. Like, that doesn't really take away from my point, which is when I look at sets and I look at the collectability of a set, of a booster box, how much I should invest into it. I know some people like to just buy every set release. I like to try and pick the winners, and I think at a certain point it's obvious. Like in One Piece, it's obvious. 05, 09, PRB01, those are the clear front runners in all of the One Piece iterations so far. Romance Dawn's probably in that tier below it, and maybe you'll have EBO2 in that tier, or a tier below Romance Dawn. Then you'll have like Wings of the Captain. OP11 might be a little bit higher than both of those, but either way, it's clear that 09, 05, PRB01, those are the clear winners. You should be investing most of your money into those. If you want to buy a box or two, maybe even a case of 07 because you see a good deal on it, that's fine. Go for it. Just don't think that you're going to get massive returns and this box is going to jump to $300 overnight. But if you're buying around $100, which you could probably even find it cheaper than that some places still, your downside risk of losing money is so low that even if you don't make a ton of money, it's not going to be the end of the world. But you guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Also, if you are in the spreadsheet, please recommend me how I should go about tracking the manga cards from One Piece. This is kind of how I do the special illustration rares and the alternate arts from Pokemon. I just pull the top 20 from TCG Player. Every month we'll update this. We'll look at the percent change. I'm also keeping track of how many individual cards are selling in near mint copies during that 28-day average, which for One Piece would be basically all of them, because Bandai cards are in very good condition when they come out of the pack. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.